Yeah, it wouldn't be Gundam without a bit of post-murder PTSD. And yeah, I think it is murder. Technically, clan battles aren't supposed to be to the death, so if you kill somebody, non-accidentally. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of GQuuuuuuX. You know, just a little sideline here. When I was rewatching last episode, I couldn't help but notice that Chaliable calls the mecha, the Gundam, quux, without the G.
Quux. Oh, okay.
Well, here's what he says in the show, in the subtitles. He just says the quux.
I guess for him, he doesn't want to define as a Gundam, even though that's the whole point.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there was that old joke that I brought up in the first episode that somebody said that they just put the G in there to let you know it was Gundam. But the element that he says quux, I'm pretty sure we've seen in the art of the show. I mean, by the art of the show, I mean like in the show, not in the subtitles that are on top of the show. GQuuuuuuX. So I don't know. Something that came up last
literally
episode.
The title, yeah.
Well, something. Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about the title itself. I mean, like in the show. What do you call it when like the music that the characters hear is also the music of the show?
I know the term.
I know Griffin used to say it all the fucking time.
Yeah. The term just escapes me, but diegetic.
Yeah, diegetic. Yeah, it's in the show. The characters say it. It's not just like title or thing like that. And more than that, the subtitles are technically added on top of the show, are not part of the show. So I don't care if the subtitles say a thing. But I believe I've seen the text GQuuuuuuX in the show. Like when they say what well no, they say Gundam. So I was thinking of the clan battle. Sorry, this isn't even a note section. This is just something that popped into my head while I was doing the intro here. Yeah. So we had, you know, the witch, a super unicum, the word that I love more and more every time I have to say it. Well, I guess this is the thing that we talked about during the Macross recordings, where I said there should be a word that's like for a super ace or something like that, because ace doesn't cut it anymore when you're killing more than 10 guys. So it's like, no, I'm just saying, I use 10 as my example.
Yeah.
Like, you would say, like, super ace if they were, like, 10 guys, but it's like, what next?
Double ace.
Or whatever, you know, you're not going to do that forever. He's a quintuple ace. It's like, fuck off. Just come up with a new word. He's awesome. He killed 20 guys. That's what awesome means. Full of awe. Or some awe. I don't know, actually, the origins of the word awesome. But yeah, I mean, unicum isn't the word I would have chosen. It makes me think of Optimus Prime's sex move, I guess. But I don't know. It's weird. It's funny. The fact that it's funny is what I love it.
And then after hours is their own business. I don't care, you know.
I'm just saying, it's funny, which is the only reason it's anywhere near acceptable right now. Like, if we were having a very serious conversation about the emotionality of, like, say, Sayla's relationship to Char in this new universe and what she's up to, and she's unicoming all over the place, like, it'd be really a wrecking term to try and, like, toss in to the middle of stuff. But yeah,
nobody double checked them in the Japanese studios, or they did it deliberately just for shits and giggles. Either way,
yeah, I'm just saying it's entertaining. That's the least I could have asked for. But yeah, getting into it for real though, we have a board, and with the board comes the board changelog. I added a red line between Kycelia and Giran.
Yeah,
I added to the I added the 2 new characters with voice lines that don't have names at the moment. Shika Sugai, Shiko's Mav, and Mas Khan. Actually, I added another character in there who is also unnamed. No, sorry, that is Shiko's Mav. Sorry. I thought for a moment that I didn't mention them. The person I was talking about, unnamed, is Chico's Mav. I added a green line between Aniki and Amate, which I guess I should have done earlier. A white line between Shiko and Aniki, because it seems like they know each other. Like, she's not just saying, I know this person because of their history. She seems to be speaking with some sort of emotional authority. And I added a white line between Jezi and Amate because they have a very standoffish relationship, which is to say that Jezi is very standoffish and Amate couldn't give a shit, it seems.
Yeah.
I added a red line between Shiko and Char, because apparently, she's got the hate boner. I had Shiko and Shuji, another white line. I thought about turning this line green, given the post-death conversation, but ultimately Shuji did kill her, so I think that's befitting of a red line. And I marked Shiko as dead.
Now, did you mention that Chico and Chila will have a white line, right?
No, they don't.
Oh, they do. Oh, wait,
No,
that is to Aniki.
Yeah, which is something I did mention. I was like, am I forgetting something? I did watch the episode twice.
It looked like it was a white line.
Yeah, I don't think Shala Bull mentions anything connective between him and her.
I mean, I get the feeling because Chico looks younger than she really is or should be. I guess she probably was in her 20s when she was doing her thing. So maybe Aniki is also a veteran of the war. She knows from personal experience.
I'm just gonna assume that's one of your guesses for the future.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I said, I just put the white line down because she seems to speak with some sort of emotional authority. So, I don't know. She could also just be a Federation soldier. Former Federation soldier. I mean, we know that she's running a company. I didn't add it to my changelog, but I added the company name under or on top of her name on the board, just as a reminder, which I don't have on. Don't have it on top of my head, and I'm not zooming in. So, it's like Kanane Company or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of the Junker guilds. Any other comments about the board? Oh, I should also mention the reason why these guys don't have outlines is because I don't know who the hell they represent. Literally, they had a conversation about what's going on between Kycelia and Giran and the idea that that's going to be the new war. But otherwise, I don't know who the fuck they are, so I can't. They might be Xeon operatives. They could be Side 6 citizens. They could be Side 6 police. I would literally have no idea. So I can't give them an outline.
Side 6 politicians.
You believe, though. That's what I'm saying. You believe. You have no idea. They don't. There's no identifier. Not one of them's like wearing a badge. Not one said, "Hey, fellow cop." Like no one says anything. So
no, I mean they're not cops. I mean just they're government employees, probably mid-level to high-level government employees.
But you have no evidence of that. That's my point. There's no. I can't say to anything that they did or said, or even their location. It's like nondescript area outside of a building, and they're looking up at Sudan, and it's like having a conversation about Xeon, and the only clue there would be they're unhappy with that situation. I don't want to die for their internal squabbles. It's like, could still be Xeon. Like, literally anything. I guess maybe I need a box color for unknown. I did not mention it, but obviously I also have Moscon, Shiko, and Shiko's Mav in 2 colors. Because obviously they're former Earth Federation, but they're also Dormitory Security Corps group, Dormitory Security Group. Something I did a lot of in my Infinite Rivus watch. Bunch of characters are part of multiple cliques, so I'm reflecting that here now that you can be in multiple groups. That just means I now see in a zoom out the unfortunate choice of having like what would you say the color is on the board for Earth Federation? Orange?
Earth Federation is orange.
Well, what color is Dormitory Security Group? Yellow?
Yellow.
Okay. The unfortunate bit of the more you zoom out, the more those 2 colors just seem to be one color.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Maybe I'll change that later too. All right. Well, those are the new board changes. We have notes. I believe I have almost 2 times as many notes as you have.
Yes.
That doesn't denote how long the note is. It's just how many notes we have. Because again, I take notes to have it on a notepad so I can search it later in case it's a thing that I want to cross-reference. So sometimes they're just for me. So far, we haven't seen anything in our UC watch-through to create illusions of mobile suits, so I assume that's going to be a thing to look out for in our upcoming shows.
I don't
know what I'm talking about, or no, you remember?
Yeah. No, it's just allusions to mobile suits. What do you mean by that?
Illusions with an I, not with an A.
Illusions?
Illusions, not illusions.
Again,
I'm not saying someone's alluding to a mobile suit. I'm talking about an illusion of a mobile suit. You not remember the very first clan battle of the episode? Like, the episode opens with 2 Zaku's, because remember, clan battles are only 2 Zaku's, and they create a massive line of illusions of Zaku's in front of them.
They're not illusions. They get dispersed because you can hear a popping sound when they come out. I have a note about that. Balloon decoys, like the ones deployed by the Oppo team during the opening clan battle, are a real thing. Of course, in real life, we don't have ones that are designed to imitate Zaku's, of course, but they're a thing. That was my first note.
Again, I disagree. Well, I assume actually I don't think that's your first note. I feel like that's your response to mine in note form. I feel like you should read another note.
Okay.
Well, that's what we do. Like, you say a note that I say, oh, I've got a thing about this too, and I never read mine. This is what we do usually.
Doesn't have a T. Kamali Hardcore, not court. I was going to say court, but doesn't have a T. Points out the possibility of a sick nova occurring when 2 Psychomu systems come into close contact.
Ironically, that is also my second note, so I'll read mine in response to yours. Reports indicate that Psychomus can resonate together and trigger a Zek Nova. Shiko indicates that her Mav may have been a new type, and we see that she was there when Solomon was hurtling towards Granada. I believe the implication being that Char's Zek Nova killed her Mav, but if that was the case, if her Mav really was a new type, it could have been them resonating together, which caused the Zek Nova, in which case it wouldn't have been Char's fault alone.
Yeah. Well, they got caught in the explosion, period.
Well, I meant more so... Sorry. I wrote that at the beginning of the episode where you're indicating that she brings it up, and then I come back to it later and edited the note to Shiko's whole thing, because Shiko is trying to get revenge for the death of her Mav, believing that Char is the reason that he died. Or they... I guess it was a he. I don't actually... Well, they died, and that I'm indicating that her whole vengeance-seeking was ultimately pointless, or as pointless as vengeance usually turns out to be, but that it wasn't even Char's fault. That if Zek Nova can just happenstance between resonance of 2 new types. Well, one, every new type resonance we've seen so far, it's just been real lucky that nobody blew up. You imagine just Char and Amuro are talking in the middle of Abaquo, like, the future is new type, explosion. You know?
Yeah, who would think about that? Sure.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
You want your next one? No, sorry, that was mine, actually. You gave yours. I said mine as a response to yours. So it's mine next. In the rally against the Status of Forces Agreement, some of the signs were in Japanese. Those and the English signs said opposition to status agreements. Not Xeon. Strike to save side 6. No justice, no peace. Tyrant Lord. Get out. Stop the military offensive.
My note is tied to that because what they're talking about is called SOFA or SOFA. And according to Wikipedia, the status of forces agreement is an agreement between a host country and a foreign nation stationed military forces in that country. SOFAs are often included along with other types of military agreements as part of comprehensive security arrangement. A SOFA does not constitute a security arrangement. It establishes the rights and privilege of foreign personnel present in a host country in support of the larger security arrangement. Under international law, a status of force agreement differs from a military occupation. And I set that up because I have my next note discussing why that is important and why people would be protesting against it.
Well, I mean, if you recall, I brought up the status of forces agreement last episode notes. Specifically, so according to the status of forces agreement, which states that the colony is within a Zeon-controlled airspace, due to the fact that Xavier is caught red-handed with military hardware inside 6, Zeon cannot just illegally ask for his return. I had a whole other paragraph that goes with it. I'm not going to read that out. I'm just reminding you that I've actually covered that back when I heard it the first time. So, question answered about the Giran and Kycelia status. It's a family feud, according to 2 of this episode's new characters. I would have to imagine that if Giran didn't kill Derek, with the solar ray, then possibly this is how long it would take Degwin to die naturally, and now the remaining siblings running Zeon are making power plays, of course, except for Garma, who retired. It seems like Giran is still Supreme Commander, but just like in the death of Stalin, it's hard to ignore the leader of your secret police. I'm not sure how the Red Gundam could stand in their way, though, because that's what the 2 guys say. Unlike before, where Char had over a year to bury himself into the workings of the Zeon military, he's just been missing for a long time. 5 years, I guess. And with what? Chalia still looking for him, and some people notably still wanting him dead? Seems like an unlikely position to be able to launch a coup from.
I mean, I think it's... he has a Zeon name. His name is Char Asnabala, but
yeah, but that's
his
not
real name.
Yeah, it's not his real name.
His real name. Yeah,
and he doesn't go by his real name. In fact, he killed a guy who knew his real name. Lino, world's greatest detective.
Chilable knows, and then she tells the rest of the crew of the Green Base that
Sudan.
Green Base. That.
Well, here's the problem: is that it's literally only your nickname, because apparently no one's even calling it White Base. So the fact is that it's Rocking Horse or Sudan.
I'm going to call it Green Base. I don't care what anybody else calls it. But he could be a symbol for people to rally around if...
Also, I don't think Charliable would tell his whole crew that.
Oh, he literally said that on the bridge. He was the son of...
don't remember it. It's not in my notes.
Yeah. In episode 0, in the recounting of the end of it.
You mean episode 2?
Well, because... Okay.
I understand what you're saying, that the end of episode 2 says now on to episode 1, but they can't defeat the fact that it is aired episode 2. This is one of those arguments, like the argument of how to watch Farscape. That Farscape has a release order that's different on the DVD, different on the recording schedule, different per 3 different countries the show gets released in. So there's people are having arguments all over the place. What episodes do you watch the first season of Farscape in? I'm just saying the episode that we watched it in, that was episode 2. Also, again, don't remember it, and I have been notoriously taking notes about every goddamn thing, and it's not in my notes either. So,
anyway, my next note.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot that was mine.
Yeah. This agreement so far focuses on the legal status of foreign military forces on someone else's territory. While legally it's not an occupation, that's what I said in the last sentence of the Wikipedia article, they're often criticized by citizens of the nation as a get-out-of-jail-free card for said foreign soldiers. Japan, as many other countries, have had problems with foreign forces, particularly Americans, when American military courts handed out what the host country feels like lenient punishment for major crimes like murder or sexual assault of the host country's citizens by foreign, again, i.e. American service personnel. So clearly something, or the presence of Zeon and what Zeon can or cannot do inside 6 it makes some people angry. We see a small demonstration, so it doesn't seem to be a huge demonstration, but it's one that it's enough for people to focus on. If I were to use a historical example, one of the reasons for the Iranian Revolution was that America wanted to put forces in Iran, and many people in Iran did not agree with the American proposed SOFA. Now, each SOFA is different, right? It can change differently, but usually it goes something like this. If an American soldier is on a foreign soil and they commit a crime, then they are on the jurisdiction of the military courts, not the host country. So let's say that if running over somebody in a car, you might get 5 years in Leavenworth, while in this country they might hang you. Well, think about it. It's like people expect you to be hanged for running over somebody with a car, and it's like, no, we're just going to give them 5 years. Like that doesn't seem right? It feels like, the Americans can get away with anything, even though they might get 5 years in Leavenworth, which is not easy task, but still, right? So I think that's the kind of environment, especially when they arrested this kid, right, the pilot of the Gundam, the GQuuuuuX, and then they let him go. Like, what do you mean you let him go? He's wrecking the place, and the news basically has said, oh, they wrecked a refugee camp and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Sorry, 3 things. 1, I think it was a pretty big gathering. I think they expressed that by putting all the signs really close together to express that it's a lot of people crammed into one space. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember. What you were talking about with your example really reminded me of the Red Brown movie, the serious one that he tries to do, where it's the actual story of a U.S. soldier in World War II in Australia who kills a number of women around the U.S. military base, and then gets put up on court-martial. I think it's like Death of a Soldier or something like that. I did say Red Brand movie, right? That would help people find it, I'm sure. I think it's something of a soldier, and I think it's Death of a Soldier. And 3rd, Xavier wouldn't have been brought up on that. Xavier wasn't no, actually, never mind. You're right. I'm remembering when Machu takes it over. I guess technically he was also involved at the very beginning before he gets into the, I would say air ducts, the tunnels that lead to the airlocks, whatever those are called.
The maintenance tunnels, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next, my really, really short note. Apparently, Amate is a 2nd year and in class 25, according to her career preference survey.
Makes it a very big school.
I mean, it's a colony. It's also a high-class school, so maybe, like, how many high-class... Or, remember, it's supposed to be a rich school, actually. How many rich schools are there in the colony? You might be sending people from all over to this place. We know that, as I discussed from episode 1, the, what do you call it? Like, the metro map that she looks at, where she's going and where she's coming from, only one of them is even on the map, implying that she's traveling a pretty long distance, which is also why I covered it's only like 1.35 heights to travel that far. So, again, could be just a massive school for people from all over the Banshee. I said colony before, I think. Gundam Wing's still in the brain. Banshee, from people over the Banshee.
Yeah. My next note then. You already alluded to this, but I'm going to, throw my head into it. The war is over, but the infighting among the Sabi family continues.
Okay.
That's it. That's a note.
I'll say your short note to my short note.
Yeah.
The girls in Amate's class seem to think that 500 heights is a lot, as per our previous discussion about the value of a height, with the span of about 1 height to travel across the colony, and 5,000 height to get a package delivered without any questions. Now 500 is a lot to win in an online casino. Also, for further comparison, I guess the clan battle reward is 150,000 heights, and a space glider can run anywhere between 155,000 to 237,000 heights. 1,000 heights can get you a shuttle from Side 6 to Earth.
Like a very long distance travel, I guess,
Well, I'm just saying that's the one thing. Like, I think Nyaan
I
said
think
that.
There was a comment, and we might talk about those comments, said that the height was equivalent to a USD.
We bring up comments at the end very specifically because we write our thoughts out first. So that's why we respond to the comments at the end.
my next note then. So Amate really is a bored rich girl who wants to escape the colony and go to Earth, and then what? What is she gonna do once she gets on Earth?
So I have a
Without
note
no
about that.
no connections, no families.
Oh, no, I have a
nothing.
note about why they all want to go to Earth. I already have a suspicion about what that is, and I think you already know. I don't know why you didn't include it here, but I think you already know as well. Sorry, the bored rich girl is I was just like, there's some part of that comment that I want to respond to. The bored rich girl is the thing I brought up last time, where I said that she's going to a rich school. Her mother works for the government, and that's why I said I think she's a bad person. Well, not inherently because she's rich, but sometimes, most of the time, rich people.
She's spoiled.
Oh no, I meant the fact that she knocked the guy's money out of his hand and then offered him work instead of compensating him for his loss, especially knowing that she comes from rich. She comes from money. I know you already said a whole thing about it. I'm just saying that that's my opinion. If I'm walking to work and you nick me with your car and you stop and say, you better get to the hospital and drive off, you're a fucking asshole. If I'm starving and you knock the money out of my hand to make it irretrievable and you say, hey, the lottery is right there at the gas station, fuck you. I guess Yashima Company is still up and running, whatever that might imply about Shu still being alive, or Mirai for that matter. I know they were a company in origin, but in the OG, they were really, all they really talk about is Shu in the past tense, and don't really refer to the company at all. I suppose it's also possible that the glider listed on the sales sheet could be 5 or more years old, from before the war. It's listed as used and the cheapest one on the page.
Well, if I remember correctly, and that's a big if, but if I remember correctly, in 79, they just mentioned that he was a high level official in the Federation.
He was a politician and a businessman. They refer to him in the episode before they launch from Jaburo on their decoy mission.
Yeah.
When don't think it was Gop. Might have been Gop. At Jaburo talks to Mirai and how happy they are with her father and everything like that. But that's what I'm referring to when I say they talked about him in the past tense, because that's the only time they bring him up. Because otherwise, our only experience with him is from Origin, where we literally see them in a Yashima shuttle lying to Side 7.
My next note: that the Muir housewife found what neither the local police or Sion forces could. Now, I know she's more than a demure housewife, but that's sort of the first
What are you
impression.
referring
to? The fact that she finds the cover company for the...
Sorry, no, you threw me off. You said demure housewife finds what the... and I'm thinking back to Amate's mother turning the TV off and, I found out what you were doing. And she goes, you put jellyfish on your career thing? By the way, it's the first time I noticed that her room was covered with jellyfish pictures, and her phone is a jellyfish thing. It's like, oh, I didn't realize this obsession. But you said demure housewife, and I immediately thought of Amate's mom. And I'm like, no. What are you talking about? I mean, to be fair, she's obsessed.
Yeah.
Literally, Anqui says that this is obsession.
But I do have a follow-on note on that later on. So, yeah. Not the obsession, but the finding of the place. And, well, which I think you talked about that before as well. But
well, I brought it up on the board where it seems like they had a connection.
Yeah.
My next one is literally just a list of the clan battle leaderboard. Sometimes it's hard to make out because her phone is still broken. So there's like little breaks where letters are.
Yeah,
number 1, 12 Olympians. Number 2, Fried Martians. Number 3, Generis. Number 4, CRS, the clan that we fought this episode. 5, Pomeranians, our characters. 6, Fat Mav. 7, 4, Snake Eyes, the one we fought the first time and defeated. And number 8, Gulfstrom. Again, some of those could be wrong because of the cracks on the phone.
Oh, yeah. Next, now, I know both Amate and Tsuji are new types, but did he read her mind while sleeping? because she doesn't say anything. It's a flashback to her approaching him, like, oh, what do you want to go to Earth and stuff like that, and he responds without even opening his eyes, like responds to whatever she was thinking without even opening her eyes, like almost like he responding to her thoughts, but she didn't say anything. So it was like,
And then they exploded, and that's Zack and Nova.
Yeah.
I mean, I just assumed, like, I don't know. You're bringing up now that she didn't talk. For some reason, I remember her talking.
No, she was narrating what was happening, but in the animation, she's just approaching him like he's going to give her a kiss. She's going to kiss him or something. I
assumed she was smelling him. He smelled her first, remember? Creepy shit that I brought up.
And he's the one who's talking like blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, he's talking to sleep.
I want to go. Yeah. So.
I don't know. I just remember her saying it. I wasn't paying attention to her mouth. I was reading the words. So Nyaan is on my side of the argument, agreeing that the mobile suit wants to go to Earth. Amate is on your side of the argument, saying that mobile suits don't talk.
I'm on Amate until further proof is presented.
Yeah, but that's not how theory crafting works.
My theory is that it isn't.
I know, that's literally what I just said. I said Nyaan is on my side of the argument and Amate is on your side of the argument. I just think it was interesting that that's a point of view inside of the show. Dio, whatever we called it before.
This is my next note, and we kind of talked about the last time, and I want to bring it back.
I can't wait for the third sofa comment.
No. Interesting that clan battles are illegal, but even non-Zeon PMCs can participate in them without anyone being the wiser. I think that Site 6 is using these illegal clan battles to train pilots and develop new tech for their own use, especially if they fear future war either with Zeon or a rejuvenated Federation. It might also be a way for the Federation, under the guise of PMCs like Dormitory, to do the same.
Why? I think you have a misconception going on here. These aren't PMCs. They're like illegal street racing. They're
Dormitory.
They comment that the CRS is a thinly veiled front for the Dormitory. A front. It's not an official thing. These aren't Zeon PMCs. These are illegal street racing groups. They are, in fact, creating fake names and fake imagery to hide their real identities, because this is illegal. I brought up early on the fact that they have a whole broadcasting network around it, but then again, that's not even far-fetched. I imagine if you're doing illegal street racing in the modern age, you probably have like people with drones following you above in the air, broadcasting to everyone who's a fan, because it's an underground thing. These aren't, there's no Zeon PMCs. This is all fucking illegal.
No, I said as a non-Zeon.
I'm saying that you're saying a non-Zeon PMC implies that there are Zeon PMCs. There aren't. CRS is not the Dormitory security group. It's a thinly veiled front for them. It's like, it's a public secret sort of thing, but it's still not them, because it is illegal. We cannot put the Dormitory security group into the fights, because that will literally identify us as being doing illegal shit.
Yeah, but I think what's really happening, it isn't so much, it's illegal, but the reason why it's illegal is because it actually allows the Site 6 government to do things that otherwise would be a violation of the treaty with Zeon. Like, we could try to expand our military, but that would break all kinds of rules. But these people engaging in non-lethal battles, nearly non-lethal battles, constantly getting better and improving their tech and experimenting with tech, we could get something out of this, right?
I see where you're going, and I'm not going to say it's like 100% not true, because I'm not going to like put myself out there to say that's never going to happen. I just don't think that's right. I don't think it's right because it's more like, again, I want to bring up street racing. Like, there's been multiple shows and anime and everything like that where we've got to improve our car to stand up to all the other cars on the road. Yeah, they are improving. They're improving because they're in a competition with other people. I don't think it's a government-wielded thing to try and then form up their military or improve their stuff. Like, I will say, it's more than likely that there is a government-sponsored group on the charts. It is the Side 6 trying to, game the system somehow to improve their stuff. Like, we really need to do military testing, but we can't do military testing. But if we enter this illegal competition and frame it as, I don't know, the Olympians or whatever the number one group actually is, that we can still test our military hardware without Zeon knowing that it's us testing it. That isn't them subverting the whole we can't form a military thing, though. Obviously, that's not a thing. We can literally just label, our military is actually the military police. We just actually have a sizable police force. How many Spartans can Leonidas take with him to...
Yeah, but remember that the equipment that the military police uses are basically hands-off, are, first generation, second generation mobile suits.
It was literally enough to stand up to the GQuuuuuX without the Saikamu, and that means it's enough to stand up to any mass-produced Zeon model.
Well, not if they're using Gundam models.
That is a Gundam model. The GQuuuuuX is a Gundam model, so it's enough to stand up to a Gundam model without a Saikamu, which means it's enough to stand up to any mass-produced Zeon model.
Yeah, but I also think that the reason why is that this was this guy's first time in combat. Otherwise, and he was so preoccupied with activating the Saikamu system that he wasn't really keeping his eye on the ball. Right?
Didn't destroy them though. I'm just saying he's a Zeon soldier in a mobile suit, and he's trained to fight in mobile suits. Even if distracted, they stood up to him. So tells me that at the very least, they're not like, they're not the Russians pulling shit out of the museum, right? We need more stuff. This is like first generation shit, second generation shit. No, it's standing up to the top of the line prototype that they, had to get permission to get out of Granada. So,
your next note then.
Shot in the dark. They introduced online gambling. Nyaan showed up with a black eye last episode and now is requesting more work for money. I'm guessing abusive parent at home with a gambling addiction and anger management problems. No doubt likely also gambling on clan battles, which will weave itself into the story somehow.
I think my next note... I skipped my next... I skipped an entire note there. So I'm going to read it anyway. Setting up Nyaan to betray Amate and Suji.
I mean, literally, no, it's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because they're in the end credits together, living in a house, having fun, etc.
He could do it and then be forgiven later on.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, that means the betrayal doesn't happen.
It did happen. You cannot be forgiven for something that didn't happen. That's what I said. You can't betray somebody and then be forgiven for the betrayal. That means that the betrayal had to happen.
Again, you're just assuming that forgiveness is happening because it happened. I'm assuming it didn't happen. Thus, I'm negating the need for forgiveness because you don't need to be forgiven for something that also didn't happen. Shuji's clan battle name is Hiramushi. Translator says that means belly ignoring, so I guess that fits.
He sure was hungry, so yeah.
Starving.
Oh, that brings a question. Are they only going to get the winnings of the clan battle at the very end? Like this is a championship and they have to win the champion, or are they getting the winnings now? Which means he should be getting money. I think one of them mentioned like, well, yeah, what he's doing with all his money is like he's putting all his money into the Red Gundam because otherwise, why is he always starving? He's participating in clan battles.
I don't think they're getting the money now.
Yeah.
They ask him what he wants to do, and literally the little robot thing prints out the paper with the space gliders on it, and there's only a 5,000 difference. And literally, ironically, if you think about it, that the reward money is 150,000, and he was going to pay 5,000 for the delivery. If he had just won a clan battle, he would have had 155,000, enough for the cheapest space glider, and he could have just gone to Earth.
And my second to last note that for all the witch hatred of new types, it seems that she was one herself, and that she hated herself for being unable to stop Cha from killing her wingman. That makes me think that this was less about revenge and more about dying in battle due to survivor's guilt.
Which you brought up during the episode, which I also said you were 100% wrong about then, too. I don't really feel like there's a need to go back over the details. It's literally in last episode. If you want to see what our opinion was, go watch last episode.
But I stick to it because of what I saw again when I rewatched the episode. That seems to be where this was
again. I 100% disagree with you still, because I come across the same way on second viewing, that it's literally about obsession, as Anqui says. She's out for revenge, but it's literally not, I'm going to suicide myself on this. That just happens. She clearly wanted to win. She clearly wanted to win. I mean, I don't know. I just 100% disagree with your opinion on this. But again, if you want that, go back to the last episode. There's really nothing more to bring up here. We clearly 100% believe in different things. Or not believe in different things, read it differently. Shiko was a Federation super unicum, the super adult and not at all hilarious term for a super ace. That got over 100 kills during the 1 Year War, where she was also known as the Witch. I would have guessed she earned the nickname for also being a Federation new type, but she seems to deny the concept, labeling it as Zeon propaganda, meaning that despite her being a new type, nobody would have known that back then to give her the nickname. Interestingly, this is where a difference in sub and dub occurs. In the sub, Mos Khan tells her, "Sounds like you have something up your sleeve as well," when she calls new types Zeon propaganda. But in the dub, he says, "Maybe so, but you could be one."
I like the fact that of the sub, because it keeps us guessing whether, while in the dub, it just points a finger like, no, you could be another type too. Don't dismiss it, right?
Like I said, it's a big difference. It's not like rephrasing a thing. It's like,
yeah,
it sounds like you have something up your sleeve as well. And it turns out she does. She has the whole hook mechanism thing.
Yeah.
Which, not new type related, maybe new type aided, but very different from, yeah, but I think you could be a new type. I was like, wait, what? Even though... I thought you said that was your last note last time.
No. I said second to last. This is my last note. The Lala sound. I guess somebody cribbed this idea of Lala creating the multiverse, although this is the only show that I know outside of UC that has her as a character. Or a possibility of a character.
I'll jump ahead a couple of notes to address your note with my note. I wonder why the Red Gundam wants to go to Earth. Is it a shared thing that Amate wants to go too? Do you think something might be drawing new types to Earth? The Gundam is searching for a rose. I bet it's Lala. You keep pointing out the Lala sound, and they point it out in this episode as well. I'd suspect a still living Lala would probably be the strongest new type in existence and would serve as a beacon for other new types. Remember, Amate wants to go to Earth. Amate is a new type. Shuji wants to go to Earth. Shuji clearly a new type. The Gundam seems to want to go to Earth. If it is Char, like I said it is, then the Gundam also wants to go to Earth. I believe Lala is singing on Earth, because also, as per the whole comment about what if Origin maybe not existing, or what the previous backstory of Lala would have been without Origin. Yeah. To our interpretation, which involves Origin, she would still be on Earth.
Yeah.
So a new type Lala, still alive 5 years after the war, doing her Lala singing noise thing, could be a beacon to all new types. Although I guess Chaliabul might be the wrench in that one. The idea, though, is that Chaliabul was always kind of a weak new type.
Yeah.
He didn't really share any of the powers or anything, so he might just not he could be on the same level as what was her name, Harcourt. It was like, Harcourt, what's that noise? Seems like even low level new types might be able to hear this.
Yeah.
That was your last note, right? Okay. Even though we lost the war, I have not. Well, since this is an inverted timeline, I'm going to assume that's the kind of talk I can expect from the Zeon soldiers and the UC timeline once we get past the 1-year war.
I mean, yeah, just because there's always going to be people who are holdouts.
Right, but it's the characters we focus on. It's funny that I'm solo reacting to Madoka Magica at the same time as we are watching this. Shiko says, "Don't you find it absurd that you have to give up on something to get something else? How happy you'd be if you then obtain everything you've ever wanted?" I say it's funny because I've gone off on this whole spiel about the pragmatism of a single wish and how to use it, especially in a world like Madoka where wishes have an unseen cost. It's not exactly what Shiko is leaning into, but it's still paying an all too high price to achieve a goal with an all too unsatisfactory end, which does ring true across shows.
But interesting, you keep saying Chico, and the reason why I guess I don't block that name to her, no, it is her name. Is that in Spanish? I think I mentioned this before. The word Chico means boy.
You didn't.
Small boy.
You legit did not.
Or
you didn't say it last episode, or at least I didn't hear you say it last episode. You didn't bring it up this time either. Till now.
It also means small as well, in general. That's why it's used for children. She's short, right? And her whole obsession is with her son. She mentions she's married, but all the visions are
legitimately her obsession is not with her son. Her retrospective, maybe sense of loss is to her son. Her obsession is the Red Gundam.
True.
That's the whole thing I was just bringing up now. The cost of fulfilling your dream is, in this case, abandonment of her family. That is the obsession that she has with the Red Gundam.
Just something to know.
Again, it goes back into our dispute about what she's actually up to. So, again, if you want to go back, rewatch last episode. Jezzy is such a jerk. They have a whole meeting with Shiko talking about her being a super unicum and everything. So they know the stakes when they text Amate later that her opponent has been switched to the witch. But still pettily signs the text with dumb dog, as per their insult to her after she called the Pomeranian a dumb dog earlier. By the way, you're going to get into a fight with a person who's killed 100 people during the war, dumb dog. Fucking asshole. Look, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know if Jesse's a man or a woman. That's why I keep saying they.
He certainly loves that dog.
I mean, you clearly seem to be sure that Jesse's a man, but
you'll be wrong.
I mean, I was going to say male, but look at the picture on the board. Tell me you're 100% sure.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to body shame anybody or call anybody out. Well, it's a fictional character. I could give two shits.
Jesse, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Could be a woman.
Either way. They seem to be obsessed with the dog, with Pomeranian, so.
No, they just really don't like Amate. That's why I gave him a white line specifically to Amate.
Well, they don't like Amate because of the way she treated her dog.
No, Jezzy is being replaced by Amate, and every time that's brought up, Jezzy is really pissed off about it and mentions how the schoolgirl can't do the job. Jezzy is already upset before she even says anything about the dog, and then she does, that little trick where, what's in my hand? What's in my hand? Dumb dog. Nothing was in my hand. And you're like, you're a dumb dog, which is, the most biting of rebuttals. But then continues it across, 2 days to now it's the signature of my thing, dumb dog, calling you a dumb dog. It's had 2 days to think about a new insult. I think the thing that confused me most about it saying Gelgog during the clan battle was the conversation with Mos Khan earlier. She says that the units are better than the Federation Light-type gun cannon, and then later Amate gets told that she would be fighting gun cannons. So the fact that Shiko suggests that the unit she'd actually be using was a mass production type, I was still thinking it was a gun cannon. Mos Khan doesn't correct her in any meaningful way other than to say that the Federation crap doesn't even compare, which I took to be his pride in his own work, not a suggestion that the unit was in a different model. Then, seeing the actual things, they just don't visually remind me of the Gelgog that we had seen. They were in Federation colors, so of course reinforcing my Federation mobile suit type belief.
There's still confusion, but I think they were definitely referring to mass-produced
Gelgogs.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Therefore,
I'm aware now. I'm explaining why I harped for so long about those aren't Gelgogs.
I mean, it's understandable, yeah.
Well, also, there's a visual difference in the show. Like, you could look at the white Gundam in this show and say, that's not the Gundam. They don't look anything like the Gundam. You'd be thrown if all you had was the previous example from 79. So, interesting note given by Xavier, active duty mobile suit production types are not sold to the public, meaning all of those Zaku's that we've seen so far are no longer being produced.
They talked about that before. Even we talked about this earlier. That they were basically getting Xeon hand-me-downs, right?
Well, yeah, there's a difference, though, between Xeon hand-me-downs and actively not being produced anymore. Because we were thinking, that Xeon is like in such dire straits financially that they're just selling off their military hardware. But the indications from what I get from Xavier here is that no, we're just producing new stuff now, and this is literally the discontinued shit. You know, like selling aircraft out of the aircraft graveyard versus selling, like, we're Boeing is now producing and we're actually going to sell this to some other countries that are our allies.
Mm-hmm.
Mos Khan said their suits would have tech even Xeon hasn't seen before, and Chalia brings up that it is likely friction-canceling technology. Makes sense. Without Amuro, the Gundam would have never come to Mos Khan to do his friction reduction work on its joints. I guess meaning that he just sat on the idea with no outlet until the war was over. Now that he's applied it to the clan battles, it's the first time anyone's seen it. I guess Chalia just studied Federation personnel records after the war, since he knows the workings of random Federation engineers.
I mean, yes, but also it could have been something that was theoretical on both sides. Like, hey, you can make a nuclear weapon, we can try to make a nuclear weapon, but only one side gets to make a nuclear weapon, right? Theoretically, we know that this is possible. Bringing it to light, it's yes, I know that he mentions the engineer by name, so
that's why I say study Federation engineers. I had a whole longer thing about how the hell does he know it's friction elimination technology or whatever, and it's just like, whatever, I don't give it. Mos Khan might just be a guy. There's elements that some of the things that happen in this are literally just call-outs for people who watched the show before, and sometimes it doesn't logically make any sense why anybody would know anything, or why everyone is just showing up at Side 6 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It really took me a second watching to appreciate this episode's clan battle. I really just let it go over my head the first time, on screen recording. Probably because we were recording and talking and I just didn't absorb what was going on. To me, it was just a bunch of mecha flash steps. The idea that she's essentially using the frictionless movement while swinging via a hook she fires into her target makes it so much cooler of a move. And of course, we spent the entire episode setting up the stakes, the target, the motivations, even though we clearly still disagree on a bunch of it. At the same time, we still both have answers to all of those things, even though the answers are different. We still have answers. It's almost everything I complained about that Seed Destiny often failed at, except for the meaningful background to keep track of locations. This fight was essentially that problem all over.
I mean,
yes, tell me about how the black and red flowing background was easy to tell where everything was all the time.
I mean, I didn't have problems with that.
Bringing up a discussion from Seed where I said that you need locale in a battle to be able to tell where any unit is as compared to another unit, to make it visually distinctive. This was literally like a cross eyes picture thing to it's just a red background.
No, because the way I see it is it was a physical battle, but also was a battle of the minds. And that's why it was in this space, right? It wasn't just simply a matter of.
I'm not arguing that aspect. Clearly, it's new type shit. I'm just saying that visually, it's a spectacle that makes it hard to tell what's going on where. No different than what I brought up in Seed Destiny, which is space as a general background with nothing in it is really hard to figure out who's moving in which direction and from where.
In this battle, I didn't have that problem. So
cool. Agreed with me during Seed, choosing to disagree with me on the show that has more viewers.
I also added in Seed the fact that there were so many combatants doing all these things.
That's
everywhere.
The point that I'm bringing up. If there was more than four people, it would be the same problem.
But it isn't.
Also, it was also such the same problem that the person vanishes. Voice crack. So the person vanishes at the end, and the character doesn't even know where the hell they went until they kill them.
But again, it's like flash stepping from Dragon Ball Z.
What did I just say?
Oh, I don't see.
What did I just say?
Yeah, so
literally, my second sentence to me, it was just a bunch of mecha flash steps. Flash steps is fucking cheap. You know what was so great from going from Dragon Ball Z to, say, Naruto, Bleach, all of those upgraded shonen, is that you saw what was fucking happening, and it wasn't just frame. People's hands moved. You could see them bending hands out of the way, fists being flown and deflected. The fight happened. Flash steps is fucking cheap. I know. That my whole note here is literally about appreciating that they explained it with hooks and swinging and momentum and whatnot, and the frictionless thing. But as an animation step, flash steps is a downgrade.
I think in this situation,
I appreciate also, by the way, that my whole note here is about how much I appreciated the fight, and you've somehow turned this into me shitting on it. This is what our discourse happens sometimes. So literally, I had one negative thing to say, and you decided to jump down my throat on it. So now the whole note sounds like I'm shitting on the fight.
I thought this is a gorgeous
You sound like the fucking comment section lessons, where you make one negative thing, and it doesn't matter how much good you said. This is the one thing now. This is the hill you've chosen to die on. You didn't like one aspect of my favorite thing? Fuck you. This whole place is getting burnt to the ground.
Relax. Come on, it's not that bad.
Well, I'm just saying, that's where it feels like now, is that I had like 5 sentences of praise, and then one sentence of, I didn't like this aspect, though, as per my previous argument, just to clarify that I'm still the same person across multiple shows. And you're like, fuck you, you're wrong. I fully understood everything that was going on. You are a fucking idiot. Even though I previously agreed with everything you said before about especially everything that happens in the fight and how making it easier to track and drastically improves a fight, right now you're wrong.
Yeah, but I think they used it well here, where in Seed, they went for that and failed.
Everybody wait until those Seed episodes come out. Just wait. It's only going to be like a year. Just wait for it. Keep watching the channel and wait for it.
Yeah.
All right. My last note here. So both, post-death conversations are definitely still a thing. There's somebody on the other side of the Gundam. Just cryptic enough to give me pause. Obviously, my want is to use that as confirmation that Char is in the Red Gundam somehow, but obviously it could also just be read as Shuji is the pilot and not Char, like she was hoping. I have only one wish. There is nothing else I want. Well, we know Shuji says the Gundam wants to go to Earth, but is that going to turn out to be his wish? I doubt it is. Whatever his wish is makes Shiko smile after being killed. I doubt someone's travel plans would make someone that sacrificed everything and lost break into a smile. Sorry. I did not put commas where commas were necessary. I doubt someone's travel plans would make someone that sacrificed everything and lost break into a smile, despite her response of, "Is that all you're wishing for?"
But we're not told what he's wishing for, so...
Yeah, no, that's why I just referenced the going to Earth thing.
Yeah. That's not enough, though. So, we'll see.
All right. Well, we, of course, do also have comments. Mr. Fricky from Patreon, The Witch's War. Okay, the MS-14A Gelgog was a mobile suit to combat the Gundam. Char piloted the MS-14S, the commander type, when fighting the Gundam with McQueeve. And you even see the base color version in the Battle of Boa, with the body green, head, legs, and arms gray. And as the suit is called GMS-01, it's likely just reused name of the canceled project, as all new mobile suit development was canceled for the reverse engineering of the Gundam. Also, when you have doable vowels, I'm assuming they mean double. It's most of the time the vowel is just pronounced longer. So it's Goog, not Gog. Sorry, I feel like there should have been a pronunciation version of what you're... Well, they said, so it's GOOG, not GOG.
I thought Gog is Gog.
Well, here's the thing, is that this is an argument that I've had with my own last name, because my own last name involves sort of this thing where, those two letters put together is the same thing as these two letters put together. And so, really, you could spell your last name like this and still pronounce it the same. And it's like, okay, but I don't know. So it's Goog, not Gog. Gelgoog. Well, I have already a typed out response to this because I actually responded to it in the comments. What's yours?
I mean, it kind of fits what the show has said, basically, that they suspended all other mobile suits construction for making more Gundams, because they were the more powerful suits. And so I think it was basically this commentator is going back that there shouldn't be a confusion because it's already spelled out. That's what I'm getting from this comment.
The response that I typed, I'll admit that when I saw the name Gelgoog, I'm just going to go Gelgog. Gelgog just sounds better to me. I don't even care if it's right anymore. I was actually thinking of the MSM03 GOG from Char's Return in the OG series. Because I think you'll remember I kept calling out, that's not a Gelgog. That's a... I don't remember actually what I said. But I know in my head...
That's in the Battle of Texas, right? In the Battle of Texas.
Well, no, the Gelgog is from the Battle of Texas. That's why they said when he's fighting him with McQueeve. That's the only time that one shows up. I was thinking of the GOG, which is from Char's Return, which is that water fight, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
The heavy armored one that they couldn't hurt. That has like the weird pincery hands.
Like most underwater...
well, it shows up later at the assault on Jaburo and everything like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's just an element of Gelgog, Gog, or Gelgoog, Gog. Or I guess, what do they say? Oh, double vowel. Sorry, I was going to say, are they implying that the double G is also a different...
No.
Gelgoog.
Yeah.
But wait a second, if it's double vowels, most of the time the vowel is just pronounced longer. What about all the U's and quux? It's quux.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce Ingram from Machu and Clan Battle. I get now why some people have an issue leaving Kira untranslated in the subtitles. It just means sparkling/glittering. The light Machu sees when in the other side sparkles/glitters, in what Shuji is inspired to paint in his graffiti. This episode has my favorite callback to 0079. Nyaan riding past on her bike, stopping suddenly to use her code phrase, is exactly what Miharu does when White Base is in Ireland. Still want to know why they use "Hello, are you in a hurry?" This being the second time Nyaan has said it. If White Base never went to Ireland, then Miharu never dies helping Kai.
True. But I mean, exactly who are these people? Because
who are these people? Sorry.
No. I mean, because
Jerry
are they
Seinfeld.
information brokers? Are they general, like, organized crime? And it's like, we make profit out of anything. Because she delivers packages for them. And he's running in an ice cream truck.
No, he's running in a bakery.
A bakery truck, yeah. A
delivery
truck.
What does your ice cream taste like?
Well, it depends on the ice cream.
I guess technically they make birthday cake ice cream, so a bakery could make a birthday cake.
So I'm thinking, are they a third party? Like they are the mafia or the organized crime?
No.
Or is it just some guys,
No, they're just runners.
Yeah.
Runners for if you don't want questions asked.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't denote, like, mafia to me. It's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't consider, like, the guys who are, like, just got back from World War II and had, like, they did, like, stole tanks and everything from the enemy, and now they've used their acumen to, like, hijack cars and then sell them to strip shops. Like, I wouldn't say that that's a mafia. So I just think this is a bunch of people who have a specific set of skills to get packages where they need to go.
But also willing to trade information as well.
Well, no. He just says that there's a bounty on the Red Gundam. And I don't think that's a matter of trading information. I think that just means they want the bounty. So if you hear anything, get it back to us. We could use that to get the bounty. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that these guys have a clan battle team.
Yeah. Maybe.
I feel like every group of people is going to have a clan battle team. All right, well, lastly, I have a comment about comments. We, of course, had a number of other comments, but a number of them either referenced future GQuuuuuuX episodes, not cool, or future events in the UC timeline that we haven't seen yet. So as always, we don't respond to comments with spoilers.
Just the rule of the channel.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. All right, I guess all that said, anything else to add? Let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I love this song. It's an OP, it's pretty good.
Yeah, not really my thing. Although I did, like, listen to it all again last time. Sorry, some shows, I have a feeling that the opening might change. Not, like, the song, but, like, events in the opening might change.
Yeah.
This does not feel like that kind of show. Yeah, so I mostly skip over it since I've analyzed it basically as far as I could the first time. Yeah. But the element that I re-listened to the song, or I more so read the text to see if I identified more stuff. Because the element of what I said last time, where I tried to analyze everything, that it felt like the opening lyrics were written for the events of the show.
Yeah.
Like I jumped over the gate, which would be Nyaan, from Nyan's perspective.
Yeah.
There's nothing left. I mean, not there's nothing left. There's nothing new I really feel like I could read into, other than this part.
Yeah.
Though we're separated by light years. Well, that doesn't make sense, for one thing, because you're never going to be a light year away from anybody. Because, we're all in Lagrange points. Lagrange points are never... ultimately, even Earth to Jupiter, which is the furthest we know anyone's gone, Charlie Bull, not a light year.
No. Oh, whoa. Oh, so that's how, they do the whole sunlight thing.
We already talked about this, reflecting mirrors. Oh, we finally want to explain what these fucking blocks are?
They're supposed to be material of some sort.
Well, they're floating around in the background of like fucking everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it turns Azuma Colony has just a giant fucking furnace. I'm glad it called it a furnace right after I said that, because I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. And it's like, nope, it's a furnace. Well, well, well. We only know one famous guy in all of Gundam who has the eye slit thing. I think I keep wanting to say MASH. It's not MASH, isn't it? MASH is the one with the nose. It's Guy and MASH, and what's the third guy?
Oh, we're getting from Mach 7 the whole space traffic thing. Oh, there's the helmet.
Well, you're saying Macross 7. I would think of Cowboy Bebop, the Truckers episode.
Yeah.
That's Gaia.
But there's more. So there's more mercenary companies, I guess. Why are there so many mercenary companies? There's no war
It's
going
not
on.
really a mercenary company. PMCs are illegal, for one thing.
Still mercenary companies. Just because you rebrand, if you still a PMC.
I disagree. I disagree on the point of the fact that this is like more like an illegal racing group than it is a PMC. They're not hiring themselves out to do anything other than... They're not even hiring themselves out, really. That better be Anki. Damn it.
Yeah.
Anki is the adult amongst these group people that I'm like...
Yeah.
Saturn Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah. Saturn Donuts, yeah. Which is what you said.
Man, I could really go for an eclair right about now.
I could go for a coffee, but I can't.
Boston style, by the way, not New York. I prefer custard, not that white, sugary, dry shit. Sorry, who is making that request? Sudoku. You look familiar. Oh, that's right. The Jupiter returnee intuition thing that they mentioned, like episode 1.
Yep.
I guess explaining how Chalyabul is not a new type, but kind of really close to it. Or at least according to them. They seem to be indicating that Chalyabul isn't a new type, but he's really, really close. Or he's an Esper. That would be a change-up. Espers are real. Yeah, it wouldn't be Gundam without a bit of post-murder PTSD. And yeah, I think it is murder. Technically, clan battles aren't supposed to be to the death, so if you kill somebody,
yeah,
non-accidentally,
the lo-fi thing.
I'm laughing at the Haru case thing.
Yeah.
It's just a little ball thing specifically to carry the Haru in. Hey, the thing from the opening.
Oh, that's a sticker. Okay. Never mind.
What, the thing on the laundry thing?
Yeah, the bubble thing. It's a
Well, I
sticker.
mean, you knew that from when you were looking out from inside, and it still had the shadow on the bottom.
About food this time.
That's not how a peephole should work. Yeah, about 150,000 a week.
いつも書いてるのは有名になりたいから。そうじゃない。じゃあ。
Yeah, people don't.
見てほしい。誰か。マチは分かってる。
What is attractive about this guy?
キラキラいいよね。キラキラ。
I guess they are of that age.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically of that age where I never understood what anybody found attractive about anybody.
朝日が海一面を輝かせるみたいな。海見たことないのに。ジークアクスに乗ってると世界の方が私に答えようとしてくれる。それは彼がそうしろと言ってるんだよ。
And he's in love with a Gundam. Okay.
That's a bit far.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess in lieu of a beach episode.
What? You're too naked. I mean, are they fighting for his affection? Is that what's going on here? Probably.
Second year in Japanese high school typically corresponds to students aged 15 to 16.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. As I'm actively not watching the scene.
No, I think that's right here. 56.
No, I literally just looked it up. I was not watching them half naked on the top of the Gundam. Literally, that's what Google says. As I'd already covered, Amate is a second year in class 25.
So she's 1 year from graduation.
Pointedly, more importantly, she's 15 to 16, which would be underage due to previous age of consent laws. Not even modern age of consent laws. And more importantly, age of consent is whatever, sorry, age of majority is whatever it is in the country you live in. Well, okay. Maybe not the parents thing that I brought up, but I did bring up the nuts. I did bring up the fact that when Xavier got roughed up by the cops, he had the same bruising that she had.
Yeah.
Implying that the cops just have the one trick.
Yeah.
Also, you love how she tried to use her rich girl authority?
Mm-hmm.
She's a friend of mine. Don't worry, I saw this on the Cross Frontier.
Yeah.
You know they were actively looking in the lockers.
Yeah.
We saw them. They were like on eye level to locker openings, looking inside. I swear, it's my phone. Dude, okay, never mind. I thought he was looking way further down than that.
そんなところの子がモビルスーツに乗れるとは思えないけど。
あれもしかしてバレてない？でも
He just did.
And by search this floor, I mean leave the immediate area the last we saw them in.
時間が気になるのか。まあいい。もうクランバトルが始まる。これでジークアクスが出てこなければ決まりだ。
Oh, I thought she'd be worried about her mother calling her, asking where the hell she is.
マチュー動けないの。もし不先輩になったら
地球楽しみ。
どうしよう。どうする？
You try piloting it yourself? The old, someone stands in for Clark Kent when Superman goes out.
こいつわざと待ってるんだ。
Yeah, so you don't get fucking... Well, they weren't looking for you. Oh, they were after you kicked them in the nuts. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's creepier because you're not talking to each other.
Oh, they're winning. They already have winnings.
It's weird that the skin-tight bodysuit fits both of them.
なんかスラッとしてない？いつもと変わんねえよ。
どうすればいいんだっけ？落ち着け落ち着け。あの時もそうだったし、やれそうな気がする時はやれる。動いてくれるよね、ガンダム。
Well, I mean, literally the name of the episode is that you don't know what Kira Kira is, implying you're not a new type. Also, they drew a Pomeranian on the front of the Gundam.
クランバトルって知ってるか？
知らないよ。なんかやばいギャンブルとかだろ。
さすがにとぼけるか。さてどうなる？ジークアクス？どういうことだ？やはり人違いだったのか？
なんで？誰が乗ってるの？
Yeah, I mean, just don't even consider that there might be backup pilots or anything.
Well, I mean, they're considering the fact that it has to be compatible with the Cyclone.
No, you don't. Xavier proved that.
Oh, he's sick.
Yeah, got that. Rick Doms. As people keep wanting to tell us, killed Amuro in the novelization.
確か中佐もリックドムに。
わずかな期間です。キシリア様の配下にははるかに優れたドム使いがいました。
Yeah, it seems like Kaisili would have a lot of Dom masters around. Also weird that the Black Tri-Stars would be operating in teams of 2.
Well, you can only have a team of 2 in...
I'm aware. That's why I said it just feels weird, because they're a team of 3. However, that would also, you know, replacement pilots. Oh, that's a new trick.
Oh, their version of the whip of the...
No, I mean, they just never did that before.
Yeah.
I certainly expect them to do the back jump maneuver at some point. That's what they're known for. You know, also, side note, implies that Rick Doms are also out of service. Along, I guess, to the previous comment about everything being out of service now. Everything's a Gundam.
覚悟の問題です。
敵クランの息の合い方が半端ない。隙がないよ。
You literally say that every clan battle.
勝てない。逃げろ逃げろ逃げろ逃げろ逃げろ。
Breaking moment for Nyaan.
ロックが外れる。
So it's just the Haru.
Yeah.
シグナル受信。オメガサイコミが起動しました。
I mean, how's that work though? If you're not a new type and they unlock the Saikamu. Or is this the evolution moment where she turns into a new type?
Yeah.
Her Planeswalker's spark has been activated. 3 feet, that's what the Rickdoms needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes to be a new type. Determination.
I guess so.
That or is the Saikamu let you become an artificial new type? There we go, backpack maneuver. Real close to following your other universe brethren.
Yeah.
Proof Shuji's bloodthirsty. I believe that's Miguel. I'm always keep forgetting which one has the big nose thing. It's Miguel, Mash, and Gaia. I think Gaia is the other one here. It must be Mash.
That's
back
a balloon.
in the thing.
That was a balloon decoy.
Cool. I was too busy talking about who was who. Didn't see it. It's like all the times we saw Shuji dodge last episode.
Oh.
You think this implies that Matilda got married?
Probably.
She wouldn't have been there to get killed by these. She's getting drunk on Kira Kira.
Okay, these battles are turning deadly, definitely.
Did Mash die?
Apparently.
Okay. Well, wait, no. I believe we saw Mash back in the other thing.
Oh, yeah, he got married. He had a
No, he's the
girlfriend
one with the eye thing.
Yeah.
Wrong eye. I think it was this one. Whatever. He's still alive. He was still with them. Oh, never mind. We were seeing him out of context. I got it.
Yeah.
And that's how easy it is to overpower Xavier.
I mean, everybody seems to be beating him up.
Not Xavier. Xavier.
Xavier, yeah.
Have I got news for you?
Yeah. So next episode, she's going to have an existential cut.
She already had one this episode. Before now.
I think it was the beginning of it.
Kikorogi.
Roga.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Look, I don't care if you're going to correct me. Leave that to the commenters. Let them type something like, it's not Kikurogi, it's Kikurogi. Smash breaks. Dead Haru. Well, it fell 18 meters to the ground. You'd think it would break.
Are they going to share the Gundam now, or what?
Well, no. I mean, one could argue that it seems like Nyaan was a better pilot.
He was in a desperate situation. I don't know if he was a better pilot.
No, after that, the desperate situation enabled her to go into new type mode. After that, she was running the show. Amate has to respond to shit happening. Nyaan was creating the scenario by which you achieve victory. So in that scenario, Nyaan is a better pilot, which is, subverting Amate's self-worth, essentially. She found value in the fact that she was a good pilot. And clearly, via the element of her being unable to fill out her career planning thing, she doesn't have a direction for her life. So this was literally her identity now. And now she's no longer important. She already relied on Shuji to help her out and achieve victory. So now that somebody's better, she's third wheel. She's Jezzy. You forgot already?
Yeah.
Jezzy is the pilot that they had on staff already that got replaced by Amate. The one that I called a jerk in my notes.
Oh, that Jesse. Like,
yeah, she's become the third wheel. Now Jesse's technically the fourth wheel, but...
Yeah.
Is that well, what? I guess she's older. I guess she's technically 5 years older. Well, no, just thinking back. We've already got Kycelia on the board from the visual that we got of her during the 1 Year War. Although I guess technically that is mask up Kycelia.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one just looks so much skinnier and like, how old is Kycelia? Like 35? That's off the top of my head guess. Well, in Origin, in 63, I would say she was a teenager.
Yeah.
So we're talking, 17 years? So 22 years?
27 to 30.
36, 30 something like 35? Something like that. She looks pretty old for 35. But I guess leading the Xeon KGB or NG, something, I can't remember the thing I'm trying to remember. NKVD, yeah. Sorry. When I brought up my note about the death of Stalin earlier, I was trying to remember what organization did that guy run again.
Yeah.
So literally, if I put N into my Google browser, NKVD is what comes up. Autocorrect. It's not the worst thing. Literally, I'm looking up a defunct organization.
So basically, you're going to have these two girls who are trying to then decide who is going to be the real pilot. And, of course, now we have romantic triangle, I guess, sort of.
I don't know.
With Chunji in the middle.
But I legit don't know if he's interested in anything. He was clearly sick from the beginning. And it was being misread as something else.
Yeah.
Also, Nyaan took the first step anyway. Which I guess is kind of a change for her. She's indicating, oh man, I always go too hard, too fast. But literally, if you remember when she's first delivering the product to the Junkers, she was hesitant to even push the button and then hesitant to talk to them. So kind of like indicating that she's the opposite of her own viewpoint.
And we know she's a refugee, so that explains probably, tussle with the law and everything else.
Well, I think I indicated in my note before, as I said during the episode, my association with Xavier's black eye thing that he has when he's coming out of custody, and the fact that she has it in exactly the same spot. Like, before I started going into, oh, is she being abused? I likened it as to, oh, are they suffering the same thing from the police? So, turned out that I was right there, but I guess I went with a very more real direction where I thought things were going. Well, not to say being abused by police isn't real. I guess in my viewpoint,
more likely that your family, because they have more access to you, spend more time with them and more dependent to them, that they will be the abusers in this case, or primary abusers anyway.
Well, I was going to go more towards personal life experience, right? I've never had that problem with the cops before. So I'm just thinking how to phrase it. But, yeah. So it is a discrimination issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys are assholes. ACAB. Anyway, this was this episode.
This was, in fact, this episode. Indeed. I can't remember what you call that. I would say a truism, but that's not the word I meant to go with. I don't think you're even trying to help me out here.
I'm not.
What do you call that?
A what? A statement that is true?
Yeah, no, a statement that is itself true. It is entirely true of itself. It's self-referentially true.
Yeah.
That was a word.
I think truism is the word.
No, it's not truism. It is, well, I'm not getting there and you're not helping me, so I guess that's going to be it for this episode. So once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stone Face Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone Face Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?